college. On Friday, though, we've decided to focus on teacher self-care so we can attend to our own emotional well-being through this challenging time. So today we've invited, and I'm really excited to have with us, Dr. Margot Stafford, a Greater Kansas City Writing Project transplant currently living in Denver. And we also have our usual team on the call, so they'll give some waves here. We have Casey Doherty from Republic School District, and Linda Brock in Blue Springs. And we have Julie Sherman from the Missouri Writing Project Network, and Marceline, Missouri. It's great to see so many other friends on the call with us today. Just a reminder that we'll keep ourselves muted, and then we'll use the chat feature to pose questions, make comments, and connect with other people on the call. Well, Margot is a dear friend, and if I were to try to introduce her, I would just probably start crying. So I'm just gonna let her do her introduction herself.
Hi, everybody. I recognize some people here as well. My background, I used to teach English. I was taught at Rockhurst University for a while, higher ed, and then we moved, and I'm no longer in education, but I am working towards my master's in mental health counseling. So I like to sort of draw from writing and sort of thinking about writing as a therapeutic tool. So those are things that are interesting to me. Katie asked me to come today to do a little wellness activity with you guys, so that's fun for me. So I know the idea of this session is different from the other ones that you've done, that the idea is that in order for you guys to be able to show up for your students as your best self, you also need to learn how to make sure that you're making time to take care of yourself. And I want to acknowledge that this has probably been really hard right now. I know that teachers have really had to hit the ground running. We talk about lots of other essential workers. I don't know that teachers always get mentioned in that group, but you guys had to adjust right away and do things right away. And so maybe taking care of yourselves at a really strange and scary time has not been something you've had time to do. So hopefully today we can do something together to do that. Okay, so I want to give you a sense of what we'll do today. My goal is mostly to focus on hope and think about what that means to cultivate a little bit of hope in our lives right now. But I also want to make sure that we make a little bit of space for the other emotions that might not be as hopeful that I'm sure many of us are experiencing. So there will be, we'll start with a little bit of a guided meditation. After that, we'll have a writing activity. So it would help if everybody had paper and pen, but I'll tell you when that comes up. And then we're gonna set an intention and see if we can sort of release that into the world. So we'll see how this goes. I know that the chat feature is set up. I am not going to be looking at the chat feature as we go along, just because I've been warned it's quite distracting to try to lead and read at the same time. But it is there for you. There are going to be times when I say go ahead and post something in chat, but I also want you to feel okay to post things in chat, even if I'm not sort of suggesting it to you. Obviously, normally, I'm sure like teaching, you know, normally we're in a group together and there's lots of processing and sharing. And so it's a little strange to do this work with just me talking to you without sort of having space and time for that. So chat is, I guess, our best way of doing that. Okay, so we're gonna start by doing a bit of a meditation. So I'm gonna, you know, ask you to get comfortable wherever you are, put your feet wherever it feels comfortable, your hands. And then I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, or if it's more comfortable, just soften your gaze. And we'll start by taking 3 deep breaths together, and I'll lead those. So let's go. We'll breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So now I'd just like you to take a moment and let your body relax. And then notice what emotion is showing up for you right now. What weight are you carrying? It could be fear of getting sick, or anxiety, anger, loneliness, or sadness. Maybe nothing is showing up, and that's okay. And then I'd like you to notice, where do you feel this in your body? Is it resting in shoulders or in the stomach? And at this moment, if it feels okay, maybe take your hand and place it on that body part. Just remember to keep breathing. And if it feels appropriate, maybe tell yourself whatever kind words you need to hear right now. Okay, let's take 3 more breaths together. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, thank you. So, like I said before, if it feels appropriate or okay or safe, it's okay to share in the chat maybe what is weighing on you or what kind words you had to say. No pressure, you don't have to do that. But I do think we know right now everybody is experiencing something, whether it's fear or anxiety, pain, grief, whatever. And what's interesting is that it doesn't show up the same for all of us. So sometimes it's good to know what's happening in other people's lives. But again, like I said, no pressure. Okay, so we'll shake off a little bit of the darkness and we'll move a little bit more into the light. So today's activity is inspired by an article, sorry, I read by a grief specialist. His name is Dr. Alan Wolfelt, and it's called Nurturing Hope in Difficult Times. And he's a grief specialist, and so normally what he's doing in his work is trying to encourage people to make space and time for the darkness in our lives, right? That we need to make space for sadness, we need to make space for grief. But he's realized at this point, we have lots of that circulating, and maybe what we need to do more actively is make a little bit more space for what is light, what is hope. And so that is what I want us to spend a little bit of time doing together today. So I don't know if the quotes want to be pulled up or who does that, but he defines hope in his article is an expectation of a good that is yet to be. It is an inner knowing that the future holds positive things. It is trust that no matter the current circumstances, the days to come will reveal happiness. It's forward-looking yet experienced in the now. So I like that, that we know it's about what will happen, but we can experience it right now. And then he goes on to talk about how hope is a conscious choice, that it is something we can do, it is active. So please understand that hope is not something that will just passively float into your life. Instead, hope will enter when you create ways to consciously bring it into your day. Despite these challenging times, the doors you open to hope each and every day will dramatically influence the quality of your life. Consciously choosing hope means deliberately focusing on it, paying attention to it, inviting it into a given moment, and letting yourself feel it as it enters. Be creative with how you give attention to hope and invite it in. Moment by moment, choose hope over fear, choose hope instead of despair, If you start feeling hopeless, act with intention to bring hope to that moment. Okay, so that is what we are going to do together. We are going to try to do a little bit of inviting hope. So this is going to be when we do our writing activity, and I am not prepared. I don't have my pen, but that's okay. And so our activity is going to be, I'm going to read out some sentence stems, and I want you guys to go ahead and finish them. So, and as with any activity, you know, skip any one that you don't like, create your own if you like one better, whatever, but we'll do this together. Okay, is everybody okay? Yeah, all right, so the words I associate with hope are next one. When I picture hope, I imagine. If hope was a color, it would be. If hope sang a song, it would sing. The kind of shoes hope would wear are. The place where hope sits in my body is. If hope were to speak to me right now, it would say. So those were, I don't have any more. So if anybody wants to hop on to share one that they like that they wrote, or share one in the chat and have it read out, I'd love to hear what kind of shoes Hope wears. I thought Birkenstocks, because obviously Hope must be a hippie. So Katie, or who unmutes and shares things?
Well, I can share something.
Okay.
Am I unmuted? I hope. I actually did the shoes as really sassy high heels
Nice.
because I would be hopeful that I could walk around well in those high heels and just have, you know, nothing to worry about. No worries about the terrain, you know, no worries about stumbling. And they would be a really bright color. I don't know, maybe red.
Yeah, flashy, good.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Hope is bold. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I shared that Hope wears boots of Spanish leather because it reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because there's something else I wrote on one of the others that hope seems tinged with sadness to me, like it's overcoming something. And so like that song, right, is about sort of leaving a lover. So I feel like hope comes after something,
Mhm.
something hard.
Okay. Lisa.
Let's see if I can unmute you, Lisa.
I had put on there that Hope wears running shoes because I just feel like if I've got on a good pair of running shoes, nothing can stop me. And it just, the load has been lightened and you just go. There's nothing holding you back anymore.
Joanne.
I wrote about the song and I came up with a couple of them. So the song that would be hopeful would be What the World Needs Now, the Jackie DeShannon song. And then I also liked Everything is Beautiful, by Ray Stevens. So.
I wrote, this is Casey. I wrote, if hope were to speak to me right now, it would be telling me that there's a cure and a vaccine coming, and we just need to keep looking. And that I was so grateful you asked that question because I was writing and dreaming about that last night. And so that hopeful part of what it's telling me was really great for me to write through.
And Cami shared, since you don't have your chat open, Margot, Cami shared that We Are the World is the song, which is a great one.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have it stuck in my head all day.
I was thinking anything Dolly Parton would be kind of hopeful, but I wasn't sure what song. So, all right. Okay. So what I was going to suggest right now is that we actually draw from this and set a hopeful intention. Okay. And so what I would like you to do is take a moment and review what you've written, what you heard others say, sort of what I read from the Wolfett article. And I want you to set an intention of something, it can be big or small, whatever, that you are going to do this week to cultivate hope in your life. So what is one thing that you can do to cultivate or nurture hope in your life? So there we can wrap up. Okay. And does anybody want to share that, or you don't have to? Does anybody?
Jan, was that maybe a wave that you would share? No, I was seeing things.
Was that?
I can share again.
Oh, okay. Was that?
Was it Amy?
Yeah, I'll share. But
Gardening is what I have written down. We have not gardened in many years. This is giving us a desire and a need, I think, to get some things started. And so our son started with the little, the little in the house pots where we are getting some seeds, and each day as we see the lettuce and the tomatoes, and there's a lot of hope in that. And I think just this time of year when nature just invites us outside and the green is so vibrant right now, not this moment, but even on the dismal days, those colors are still wonderful. So that's giving us hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, it feels like planting a seed is a very hopeful act. So thank you. Anybody else? I do want to say, I should have said this, and it's very possible that you might not be feeling hopeful right now, and that is perfectly understandable and okay too. And what he talks about in his article, Alan Wolfett, is that if you can't feel hopeful for yourself, then take it from somebody else. So try to draw on other people's hope. So maybe in the chat, there's people that are sharing things that if you can't feel hopeful right now from yourself, maybe there's other people in the group that can carry that for you for now. So find hope. Take it. Sorry, go ahead, Casey.
Dr. Stafford, I have an example of that just from today that just popped up. So for me, I think I need to let go of any limiting belief that I have because I tend to get stuck. And so I want to confront any of these temporary feelings that go through me, loneliness, depression, anxiety, and know that they are temporary. But as you said, like draw on hope from someone else. I was writing with teachers this morning, and one woman shared with our group that she wrote about loss, and that loss was her word for 2020. When everyone in January was picking words, she was picking a word that was about grief because she lost in death a family member. And so she couldn't find happiness or peace. And today in her writing, she began to list out all the gains from loss and began to see loss in a new way. And she said her list of all the gains that she had from losing something and losing what is now happening to her with her career and job and, all the things we're experiencing. She said her list of what she's gaining is growing and her list of what she's losing is shrinking. And that made me so hopeful. And I was drawing on her hope with that.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up, because that was a perfect segue for me to share that story.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's amazing. We can find things in loss. Yeah. All right. So we're ending a bit early. Is that okay, Katie? Yeah. Okay. So my understanding is in the past that Katie has ended it, but I think actually I'm going to be ending it for you today. And I wanted us to end by sort of activating or setting our intentions out into the world. So everybody's on mute except for me. I believe that's the case. Yes. Okay. So what I wanted to do, and it's a little bit corny, but so I'm sure you've done this before, where you put up your hands and you connect. Yes. So what I wanted us to do is do that. And then I wanted us to each speak our intentions out loud and activate them and maybe release some hope out into the world. And you can say them as loud as you want because nobody can hear you. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Share this. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So anyway, take care of yourselves. Thank you for coming today and being hopeful and doing this activity and seeing where it goes. So good luck with everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. So thank you.
Thank you, Margot. That was very much needed.
Thank you.
Great.
It was great. Bye-bye.